And this is what has to be clear to you in your life. Today's weather has no bearing on the forecast of what's coming.
Thank you for tuning in. It's Coach Nkrumah. We got a powerful word for you today. To everybody who has goals and aspirations and dreams, but you never quite get there, and you always find yourself starting back over from the beginning, today's word is for you. To quit before the storm.
Why don't people succeed at getting the things that they want or having the life that they want? A lot of us try to do things. We set out on goals. We set out on conquests. We set out trying to attain something in life, but we never quite get there. And this causes a lot of people to feel like they're failures. They feel like they failed at their first attempt. They failed at the second attempt. They failed at the third attempt. And then people just give up and just go to living a mundane life. But I do not believe there's a such thing as failing. I don't believe anybody fails. People just don't stay long enough to see it through to succeed. Because failure is final, but nothing is ever final until you stop adjusting, until you stop moving, until you stop going, until you stop growing. So you don't fail, you quit. I heard a quote once from somebody in the music business. He says, most people don't fail in the music business because they're not talented. They fail because they don't have a strong enough nervous system to handle waiting. Because when nobody's listening, when the record companies aren't calling, when they can't get their songs placed on the radio, when they're not getting the streams that they want, when they're not getting the views they want on their videos, they feel like nothing is working and they just quit because they can't handle the waiting. And many of us are just like that. Yeah, you have these dreams, you have these goals, you have this life that you want, but you can't handle the wait. And so you quit. There's a scripture in the Bible I love where God says, "Prove me, and I will open up the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing that you won't even have room enough to receive." And it's comforting knowing that God wants to give a storm of blessings. He wants to rain the blessings down on your life, but you have to be able to wait and see it through until it happens. And that's why right now what we're going to talk about is the quit before the storm. God is ready to rain down on you. All your hard work is ready to come to fruition. Everything that you've been trying to build is coming to manifest, but you quit before the rain comes. You give up before the rain comes. You give up thinking the rain is never going to come, but what you have to understand is that in that quiet is part of the process. Because we always heard the phrase, the calm before the storm. Before the storm comes, it gets quiet. Before the storm actually comes, it even gets dark. We see the clouds getting dark and we know, ooh, it's about to rain. But in our lives, when it gets quiet, when it seems like it's getting a little dark, we don't think the rain is coming. When it gets quiet, we think nothing is happening. We think that nothing is building. We think that nothing is growing. We think that we're not getting anywhere when it's quiet, but quiet is a part of the process. The quiet actually means the storm is brewing. Because when it's loud, that's when the storm is not coming. And we want to be busy, busy, busy. We want to see instant results. And as soon as it gets too quiet for us, we quit right before the storm. But the rain is coming if you can just wait. And that's why I say I don't believe anybody fails, because failing is final. So you can't fail unless you stop. And we have to have the strong enough nervous system to be able to wait, to know that tomorrow might be my big break. And if it ain't tomorrow, then the next day might be my big break. But I got to keep going. I can't be afraid of the quiet. I can't quit as soon as it gets quiet. I can't quit as soon as it gets slow. I can't quit as soon as the views don't go the way I want the views to go. I can't quit just because I didn't succeed the moment I tried. The rain, the storm is coming. But what you have to understand is the storm starts long before you can ever see it. The storm starts long before you could ever see it. Here in Philly, in the spring, the weather is just ridiculous, unpredictable, and it just do things that it should not do. This year in March, one Wednesday, it was 80 degrees. But the forecast said Sunday, we're getting over a foot of snow. And this is what has to be clear to you in your life. Today's weather has no bearing on the forecast of what's coming. Because just because it was 80 on Wednesday did not mean the snowstorm wasn't coming on Sunday. Now, on Wednesday, people were outside with short sleeve shirts on, and they were outside in shorts. But come Sunday, that storm came. And when that storm came, we had like 16, 17 inches of snow. But think about this. What if the people on Wednesday just thought it's 80 degrees today, so it's going to be 80 degrees every day? And then they came outside Sunday in shorts and short sleeve shirts. They would have froze to death thinking that today's forecast means that the next day's forecast is going to be the same, and that's exactly how we are. If business is slow today, we start believing business is going to be slow tomorrow. If I don't get the views today, we think we're not going to get the views tomorrow. If I'm not getting the attention today, we feel like we're not going to get the attention tomorrow. If I don't have the love in my life, somebody that I want, a companion, if I don't have them today, I feel like I'm going to be lonely forever. But today's weather has no bearing on the forecast of what's coming. But also, let's think about this. Think about how the weather man or woman knows the storm is coming. Because when it was 80, they knew snow was coming on Sunday. But the way they know the storm is coming on Sunday is because they see the storm from afar. And they say, we're here in Philly, right? They'll say, it's a cold front coming from the west. It's a cold front coming from the west, and they see the trajectory of the storm. And they say the storm is probably going to get here on Sunday. So even while it's 80 degrees today, and a few days later, the storm that's brewing 1,000 miles away is going to be here in a few days. What do I want you to understand? That you need to be able to see and know that the storm is brewing further away from you, but its trajectory is coming to you. It's coming the day that it's supposed to come. It's coming when it's supposed to come, but you got to know it's coming. And just because you can't see the storm right here, right now, today, it does not mean there's not a storm 1,000 miles away, but it's coming your direction.
So I hope today's message is blessing you so far, but what I want you to know is everything that's in this message and more that'll help you never quit before the storm, but make sure you get exactly what you want out of life is in my new book, Killing Yesterday. Make sure you go to killingyesterday.com in order to pick up your copy today. Now let's get back to the video.
The storm starts long before you can see it, but we want to see instant results. And then this is what happens. The quiet convinces people to quit. The quiet convinces people to quit. As soon as it's not working, we believe it's never going to work. And if you believe it's never going to work, you stop the work. Then you just give up. Then you start looking for every reason to quit. You start looking for every reason why it's not going to work. Well, this didn't happen this day, and this went wrong last week, and then this went wrong the week before that, and then the month before that, and you start looking at all of the negatives, but you've never sat to look at everything that was actually coming together. And some of the things you're not going to be able to see because you can't actually see the storm until it gets here. But that does not mean that in the sky, come on, that does not mean that in the sky something is starting to turn, that something is starting to change. I love like when they start talking about hurricanes, they'll say a storm is forming over the ocean. A storm is forming over the ocean. This might be a tropical storm, or it might eventually turn into a hurricane. But right now, it's forming. There is no tropical storm at the moment. There is no hurricane at the moment, but somewhere over the water, it's forming. And you can't allow the quiet to convince you to quit, because in the quiet is when the storm is forming. In the quiet is where the storm is brewing. In the quiet is where the storm is growing. But you have to stand in the place in order for you to get the storm, in order for you to get the rain, in order for you to get the results. You got to be able to stand put. Imagine you wanted to see snow for the first time. It's a forecast for snow that's coming, but then you decide to go to Florida. Once you move, guess what? You missed the rain. You missed the storm because you moved, because you got out of alignment with what was coming for you. And this is the crazier part. The closer the storm gets, the more tempted people become to walk away. Now, why is that? Why is that? The day, I need you to get this. The day before your breakthrough is the longest wait you will ever wait. Because let's say you started out on your quest January 1st, 2024. And you don't know this, but your breakthrough is coming December 31st, 2026. December 30th, 2026 is going to be the longest wait, because it's the furthest date from when you started. And the further away you get from when you started, all you start looking back is at the journey and how long it's been taking you. And now you're at the furthest date and you're getting ready to walk. It feels like it's time to quit because it's been so long. But the closer you get to the breakthrough, the further away you got from the time that you started. So it's the longest wait, and it becomes so tempting to quit because of the length of time. But you cannot quit before the storm. You cannot quit before the storm and misread the quiet. The quiet, it's time for you to expand. A quote from Jim Rohn that got me into personal development. He said, "The question is not what do I have to do to be successful. The question is, who do I have to become?" The first time I heard it, I really did not understand it. But it was something about it that was just in my spirit, like, this sounds like something really good. I don't quite understand it, but then as I began to work on myself, I realized what Jim was saying. A lot of times we're so focused on the external that we skip the internal. So in the quiet is where it's time for you to expand your capacity of what you can hold. There are people who win millions of dollars in the lottery, and then they lose it all in 2 to 3 years. Why? They did not have the capacity to hold the money. They did not have the capacity to hold their life, and so they squandered it. So sometimes the quiet It's God telling you, listen, it's time for you to work on your capacity. It's time for you to work on you. It's time for you to work on what you can hold, because what you never want is to get the storm, is to get the blessing, is to get the thing, but then you're not ready for it. And since you're not ready for it, you squander everything that you've been praying for. You squander everything that you've been working for. You squander everything that you put your blood, sweat, and tears in. And that's why the quiet is just time for you to expand your capacity. You have to become the person who can receive it, and not just receive it, but hold it. In the words of Jadakiss, it's easy to get money, but it's hard to keep it. So the quiet does not mean nothing is happening. The quiet is saying, you need to get ready. You need to be in the gym. The NBA Finals just happened. They get made in the gym before they go play the game. You have to become who you need to be in order to receive it, because God don't want to just give it to you and then you mess it up. So he's saying, listen, it's a quiet time, but in this quiet time, can you listen? In this quiet time, can you grow? In this quiet time, can you regulate your nervous system? In this quiet time, can you expand? In this quiet time, can you learn how to properly handle your money and manage your money? Can you learn how to manage people better? Can you learn how to manage your emotions? Can you learn how to manage your attitude? Can you learn how to build up your character? Or you think the version of you that you are right now deserves everything else? Let me tell you something. There's a version of you that deserves the world, but sometimes the version that you are right now don't deserve nothing. See, people don't like to hear that, because this world done told everybody you are just what you are. You all that in the bag of chips, and everything and everybody should just take you as you are. Some of us in our current state don't deserve nothing, but that does not mean there's not a version of you inside of you that you can tap into for you to then deserve and receive everything that you wanted. But you have to grow. So in the quiet, in the downtime, when it's slow, when it feels like nothing is happening, that's time for you to expand. And once you expand your capacity, you'll be able to reap everything that you've been dreaming for. So don't quit during the quiet. Don't let the quiet convince you to give up. Don't think just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not happening. Think about if somebody plants fruits, vegetables, whatever, and because they can't see it under the ground growing, they like, I gotta water it more. Every day they just pour more and more water. They're trying to do something, trying to do everything but let it grow the way it's supposed to grow. And then you end up drowning what you were trying to grow. Just because it's quiet don't mean you need to drown yourself trying to make it work. No. Grow and expand, but understand that the quiet does not mean it's over. So don't quit when it gets quiet. Don't quit when it gets slow. Don't quit when it gets dark, because when the clouds are the darkest is when the rain is coming. When the day is its darkest, that means the sun is getting ready to come up, because it gets darkest right before dawn. So don't quit. Don't give up. Keep pushing. And in the quiet, dig deeper. Dig deeper in yourself. Believe in yourself more. Trust God more. Trust your work more. Trust your ethics more. Just keep pushing. Just keep going. Don't stop. Don't believe that the quiet means it's not working. Keep going. Because the biggest tragedy in life is not somebody failing at something. The biggest tragedy in life is somebody quitting, totally unaware that the storm that they've been praying for was already forming and the rain was about to come, but they moved and missed their storm.